It all began with a whisper, a tiny, trembling voice that would change everything. 8-year-old Emily Carter, little girl from a small town in Ohio, had been fighting leukemia for almost 3 long years. The hospital had become her second home, a place filled with the smell of antiseptic, the quiet hum of machines, and the gentle footsteps of nurses who adored her, even through the endless rounds of treatment. The needles and the sleepless nights, Emily never lost her spark. She smiled through her pain, laughed when others couldn't, and always found something to be thankful for. Her laughter wasn't just ordinary, it was pure sunshine. It had this magic that made everyone around her forget, even for a moment, how cruel life could be. But one cold afternoon, something felt different. Her mother, Sarah, was sitting by her bedside, folding a blanket when she noticed Emily holding something tightly in her hands, a slightly crumpled photograph. Sarah leaned closer and saw the image clearly. It was a picture of President Donald Trump. Sarah tilted her head, a soft smile crossing her face. "Why that picture, sweetheart?" she asked gently. Emily looked up, her big blue eyes calm but serious. She ran her little fingers over the picture as if it were something precious. Then, with the quietest voice, she said, "Mommy, if I could meet him, I'd tell him thank you for giving people hope." Sarah froze, her heart tightening. She hadn't expected that. Out of all the things her daughter could wish for, a trip to Disney World, a new toy, or even a chance to meet a favorite singer, Emily simply wanted to meet one man. Not for fame, not for attention, but out of something pure admiration. Sarah gently brushed Emily's hair back and whispered, "Why him, honey?" Emily smiled weakly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Because he's brave, Mommy, and I want to be brave too." Tears filled Sarah's eyes. At that moment, she realized her little girl's wish wasn't just about meeting someone famous. It was about finding courage in the face of fear. A simple photo had sparked a wish. That would soon change their lives forever. Doctors had told the Carter family what no parent ever wants to hear, that Emily's condition was worsening. The treatments weren't working anymore. Her body was tired. Sarah and her husband Michael sat in the doctor's office, their hands locked tightly together as the words "we've done everything we can" echoed in their minds. Time was slipping away faster than they could accept that night. The hospital room was quiet, except for the faint beep of a monitor. Sarah sat by Emily's bedside, watching her little girl sleep. The moonlight spilled across the white sheets, making Emily look almost angelic. When Emily's eyes fluttered open, she saw the tears on her mother's face. She reached out her tiny hand, her skin pale and fragile, and whispered, "Mommy, please don't cry." Sarah tried to smile through the tears, but her heart was breaking. Emily looked at her and said softly, "Promise me you'll try to help me meet him. Just try." Sarah nodded, choking back her sobs. "I promise, sweetheart. I'll try." That single promise became her mission, a mission no mother could ever ignore. The very next morning, Saral decided to share Emily's story with the world. She filmed a short video from Emily's hospital room. The little girl, sitting up in bed, with tubes around her and a sparkle in her eyes, smiled shyly into the camera. "Hi, Mr. Trump," she said. "My name is Emily. I think you're really strong. I hope one day I can meet you." It was simple, honest, heartfelt. Sarah posted the video online with the caption, "My daughter's last wish." She didn't expect much. But within hours, something incredible happened. The video spread like wildfire. People from all over the country began sharing it. Hashtags like #EmilyStrong and #MeetTrump for Emily started trending. News reporters called. Messages of love and prayer poured in from strangers who had never even met the family. And just when the Carters thought the attention might fade, the phone rang. Sarah answered, her hand shaking. Double quotes, Mrs. Carter said, a calm voice on the other end. "This is a representative from President Trump's office. He saw Emily's video, and he wants to meet her." The phone slipped from Sarah's hands as tears streamed down her face. It wasn't just a promise anymore. It was really happening. A few days later, the Carter family found themselves boarding a plane not to another hospital, but to Florida, where Donald Trump was staying at his residence. Mar-a-Lago. The flight itself felt unreal. Emily pressed her tiny hands against the airplane window, watching the clouds drift by. "Mommy," she whispered, her eyes sparkling, "do you think he'll really be there?" Sarah smiled, though her heart raced with emotion. "He promised, sweetheart. And I think when people make promises from the heart, they keep them." Emily grinned and held up her little American flag, the one she insisted on bringing. She wore her favorite pink dress, the same one she'd saved for a special day. Even the nurses who had taken care of her cried as they waved goodbye, whispering prayers that this meeting would bring her joy. When the family arrived, the gates of Mar-a-Lago opened slowly. It wasn't a crowd of reporters waiting, no flashing cameras, no microphones, just stillness, sunlight, and one man walking toward them. It was Donald Trump himself. He wasn't wearing a suit or surrounded by bodyguards. He looked calm, almost tender, as he smiled at Emily. Before anyone could say a word, Emily ran forward, waving her little flag and shouting, "Mr. Trump, you're taller than I thought." Trump burst into laughter, a warm, genuine laugh that made everyone around him smile. He bent down on one knee so he was at eye level with her and said softly, "And you're much braver than I'll ever be." For nearly an hour the two talked. Trump listened, really listened, as Emily told him about her favorite subjects in school, her love for painting, and her dream of becoming a nurse so she could help other kids not be scared of hospitals. At one point, Trump's eyes glistened. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small gold coin, engraved with an eagle spreading its wings. Handing it to her, he said, "Whenever you're scared, hold this. It means you're strong, stronger than fear." That night, back in their hotel room, Emily sat on the bed, clutching the coin in her hand. "Mommy," she whispered with a soft smile, "I think I'm not scared anymore, for the first time in years." Sarah believed her. The days that followed their trip to Florida felt like a dream that the Carters never wanted to wake from. Emily kept that little gold coin with her everywhere she went. She would fall asleep holding it tightly in her palm, whispering the words Trump had told her, stronger than fear. But as the weeks passed, her health began to decline. The doctors said her body was simply too tired to keep fighting. Yet Emily never complained. She faced every moment with the same courage that had amazed everyone around her. She often told her nurses and friends, "I met my hero. I can be brave now." Those words became her mantra, a spark of strength in her final days. Then, one quiet morning, as sunlight streamed softly through the hospital window, Emily Carter took her final breath. Her tiny hand was still wrapped around the golden coin. Her mother leaned over, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "You were always brave, my love." The news spread through the small town quickly. People who had followed her story online sent letters, cards, and flowers. The local church offered to host the funeral, and the entire community came together to celebrate her short but powerful life. The funeral was small and simple, just family, friends, and a few of the hospital staff who had grown to love her like their own. But moments before the ceremony began, something unexpected happened. A black SUV pulled up outside the church. A man in a dark suit stepped out, carrying a bouquet of white roses in a sealed envelope. He quietly approached Sarah and handed them to her, saying softly, "This is from Mr. Trump." Inside the envelope was a handwritten letter. Sarah opened it carefully and read aloud through her tears, to Emily's family. "Your daughter reminded me what true courage looks like. Her strength and heart have touched me deeply. The world is better because she was in it. With love and respect, Donald J. Trump." Along with the letter was a check, a donation to a children's cancer charity made in Emily's name, and enough to clear the hospital bills the Carters had been struggling with. Sarah and Michael broke down in tears not just because of the generosity, but because someone, far beyond the world of politics, had truly cared. It wasn't about power or headlines. It was about human kindness and the legacy of one brave little girl. Months passed, and the seasons slowly changed. The ache of losing Emily never truly faded. But Sarah and Michael knew their daughter's story wasn't meant to end with sorrow. It was meant to shine with purpose, just like Emily had. One evening, as Sarah sat in Emily's old room, she found the little pink dress folded neatly in a drawer. Along with the small American flag Emily had carried that special day, tucked beside them was a handwritten note in Emily's uneven handwriting that read, "Mommy, help other kids be brave." That message became the heart of something beautiful, the Carters decided. To create Emily's Brave Hearts Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to helping families of children battling cancer. Their mission was simple: to remind every child, no matter how sick or scared, that courage lives inside them. Within weeks of launching, the foundation began receiving messages and donations from all over the country. But one letter stood out. It was from Donald Trump himself. Inside was a short, handwritten note that said, "Keep making kids brave." Along with the note was another generous donation to support their work. Sarah cried when she read it, not out of sadness but out of gratitude. She realized that Emily's light was still reaching people, still touching hearts far beyond what they could have imagined. Emily's story began spreading again online. Her video, that simple, innocent message recorded from her hospital bed, was watched by millions. People from all walks of life shared it, saying her bravery reminded them to face their own struggles with strength and hope. Letters poured in from parents, teachers, and children who said Emily had changed how they saw life. Some even said her story had inspired them to volunteer, donate, or simply tell their loved ones how much they cared. Now, Sarah travels across schools and hospitals, sharing Emily's message, standing before classrooms filled with curious young faces. She always says bravery isn't about fighting wars or giving speeches. It's about smiling when life tries to break you. Each time she speaks, she carries that gold coin, the one Emily held in her final moments, a small, shining reminder that even the tiniest hearts can leave the biggest marks on the world.